After more than 2 years of globetrotting, Rita felt a strong desire to put down roots, secure a stable job, and establish a sense of home. While her love for exploration remained, she yearned for a place to call her own. Living out of a backpack, sharing rooms with newfound friends turned into strangers, had become her norm. Rita, however, longed for the tranquility of privacy and a space she could truly call hers. Having saved a substantial amount of money during her time in New Zealand, Rita had secured a job in a small company that offered decent wages. Departing with a healthy bank account balance, she knew it might not be enough for a house deposit, but she was confident in her ability to top it up quickly. Before leaving New Zealand, she embarked on a 3-week journey around the picturesque beauty spots of the South Island. Budget-conscious, she hired a van for cost-effective accommodation at free campsites and utilized free Wi-Fi to apply for jobs back home. Rita's diverse experiences spanned various fields, from marketing to care work, teaching English, and working in cafes and bars. She was open to any opportunity that presented a challenge and offered decent pay, aligning with her dream of buying a home. Rita envisioned herself in a quintessential British cottage, and her Pinterest board overflowed with images of home decor and traditional British houses. Her dream home was an old stone cottage nestled in a charming village equipped with a butcher's, a newsagent, a cafe, and, of course, a local pub. Rita's idyllic garden featured wildflowers and wisteria cascading down the house, inspired by the picturesque setting of her auntie's home. Every day, Julie would gaze at her Pinterest board, envisioning life in her ideal cottage. Recognizing the popularity of such houses, she felt fortunate as a first-time buyer with a substantial deposit. The only missing piece was a job, but Julie remained optimistic, hoping that wouldn't be the case for much longer. On the eve of her return to the UK, Julie received an email inviting her for an interview with a company she had applied to. Having submitted countless applications, she struggled to recall which job this pertained to. As she perused the website, Julie discovered it was a sizable corporation in London, boasting expansive offices, high-end products, and a massive staff. While many would jump at such an opportunity, Julie couldn't muster the same enthusiasm. Nonetheless, she accepted the interview, acknowledging that beggars can't be choosers, especially given her limited options at the moment. Throughout her career, Julie found fulfillment working for smaller companies, harboring dreams of contributing to a charity or a modest school. Applying for this particular job was driven by its favorable location near her best mate's residence and a lucrative salary. Initially considering the prospect of couch surfing at her friend's flat, Julie soon grew disenchanted with the idea. The thought of sleeping on a sofa for an extended period and working in a dreary office surrounded by suit-clad individuals with egos the size of Big Ben lost its appeal. As Julie boarded her flight back home, she switched her phone to airplane mode, granting herself 24 hours of detachment before turning it back on. In that window of solitude, she pondered her next steps, contemplating the trade-offs between financial security and personal fulfillment in her pursuit of the perfect cottage and a life that truly felt like home. Rita's first flight was mostly spent dozing, and the second involved a combination of eating and watching old films. Fortunately, her flights were pleasantly quiet, devoid of the usual disturbances like screaming babies or snoring passengers. While thoughts of the job she had applied for crossed her mind, her predominant focus remained on realizing her dream cottage, a dream she was determined to turn into reality. Upon the plane's landing at Manchester Airport, Rita breathed a sigh of relief, happy to be back on familiar ground. Not particularly fond of flying, the cold weather that greeted her upon disembarking was the first notable sensation. The second was the warmth of the friendly faces around her, and the third was the sheer delight of reuniting with her parents. Emerging from baggage control, Rita planned to stay with her parents for a few months, using the time to figure out her next steps. The joy of being with her parents was overwhelming, and they chatted incessantly on the journey back to their house. However, upon their return, Rita's parents shared some somber news. Her Auntie Julie had passed away. Wanting Rita to fully enjoy her last few days of traveling, they had chosen to wait until her return to deliver the news. The revelation devastated Rita, as she recalled the countless summer days spent in her aunt's garden. Auntie Julie had resided in a beautiful old cottage at the edge of her parents' village, where she had lived with her husband until his passing 5 years ago. The news added a layer of sorrow to Rita's homecoming, overshadowing the initial excitement of her return. Before Rita could fully absorb the news, her parents had more revelations to share. They disclosed how Auntie Julie, an inspirational woman, had preserved all the letters and postcards Rita had sent during her travels. In her youth, Julie shared Rita's passion for exploration, living abroad for many years before finally settling near her sister. Rita's parents explained that Auntie Julie had bequeathed her house to them in her will, but with no need for an additional property, they were considering selling it. Rita, however, pleaded, "Oh, please don't sell it yet. I'd love to go back and say goodbye to it." She cherished the welcoming vibe of Julie's home, a quintessential thatched-roofed cottage with small windows, low ceilings, and an abundance of character. Visitors often captured photos outside the house, recognizing its uniqueness. Her parents, sensing Rita's attachment, assured her they had no intention of getting rid of the house. Instead, they proposed transforming it into a holiday let, or, perhaps, Rita could inherit it, considering it would be part of her inheritance one day. Overwhelmed, Rita, still grappling with jet lag, felt like she was in a surreal dream. Her parents, perceptive to her emotions, suggested she retire for the night, emphasizing the importance of rest. Back in her childhood room, surrounded by familiar cuddly toys and posters of boy bands, Rita succumbed to a dreamless sleep. 8 hours later, she awoke feeling disoriented. Having just concluded 2 incredible years of travel, she now faced the reality of her beloved auntie's passing. Moreover, the unexpected prospect of inheriting the beautiful cottage added another layer to her complex emotions. Rita contemplated her next steps. Grappling with the bittersweet blend of grief, nostalgia, and the unexpected inheritance that awaited her. The emotions were overwhelming for Rita, and she made her way downstairs to join her parents for a hearty full English breakfast. Following the meal, her mum handed her a letter penned by Auntie Julie. In its heartfelt words, Julie expressed how she considered Rita her adoptive daughter and harbored the wish that, one day, Rita would inherit the cherished cottage they both held dear. Rita felt a wave of unworthiness, questioning whether such inheritances were reserved for privileged individuals rather than ordinary girls from a small northern village. The dream home she had sought to manifest was, unexpectedly, right in front of her all along. To shake off the weight of these revelations, Rita decided to go for a run. As she jogged past Auntie Julie's cottage, the slightly overgrown lawn did little to change its familiar appearance. Rita, determined to honor her family's wishes, contemplated how she could do justice to the cottage. Upon her return, Rita discussed the legalities of house ownership with her parents, exploring potential renovations. Auntie Julie's expressed desire for a kitchen extension lingered in Rita's mind, and she resolved to turn that dream into reality. Before diving into renovations, however, Rita acknowledged the need to secure employment. Recalling her interview with the London corporation, she promptly emailed the HR department, graciously declining the opportunity. This decision aligned with her desire to stay close to the cherished cottage. With her plans in flux, Rita found herself back at the drawing board, needing time to reassess and chart her next move. Over the following days, she visited the cottage with her parents, sifting through Auntie Julie's possessions. While a melancholy task, it also unearthed a trove of joyful memories captured in photographs, images of Rita playing in the garden, cooking in the kitchen, and creating chaos in the living room. Amidst Auntie Julie's paperwork, Rita discovered her own CV, prompting her to reflect on her skills and experiences as she navigated the unexpected turns her life had taken. Unbeknownst to Rita, her auntie had dedicated years to working for numerous charities. Curious, Rita decided to Google them and stumbled upon one that resonated with her deeply. Hovering over the vacancies page, she pondered, if it's good enough for Auntie Julie, it's good enough for me. The charity happened to be a mere 20 miles away, making it a commutable distance with a car. Choosing to bypass the website, Rita called the charity and engaged in a lengthy conversation that resulted in an interview invitation the following day. Everything unfolded at lightning speed, from learning about her auntie's passing to inheriting her dream home and now having a potential job opportunity. Rita, still grappling with jet lag, marveled at how swiftly her life was evolving. Struggling to sleep that night, Rita revisited her Pinterest board, where images of beautiful cottage kitchens, wildflower gardens, and weeping willow trees had been mere aspirations. Now, they were becoming tangible elements of her reality. As she drifted off, thoughts of her Auntie Julie lingered in her mind. The next morning, Rita embarked on her journey to the interview at the charity. Fortunately, her dad had included her on his car insurance, providing her with transportation. En route, she stopped by the cottage, making a personal promise that, if she secured the job, she would use her savings to renovate the cottage exactly as her Auntie Julie had envisioned. The interview proved challenging, with jet lag and thoughts of her auntie distracting her. Rita, however, needn't have worried. Later that day, the charity called, acknowledging that while she didn't possess all the required experience, her drive and determination mirrored her auntie's spirit. Upon hanging up, Rita shed tears of relief. Within days of her return, she not only secured a job but also embarked on a new project, transforming the cottage. Rita eagerly anticipated spending long summer evenings on the garden swing, enveloped in the sounds and scents of her beautiful wild English garden, determined to make her Auntie Julie proud. We hope you enjoyed this lovely English story. Click a video on screen now. If you enjoy this story, then like this video and subscribe this channel now. Also do comment your story or any suggestions. And don't forget to share.